Alright. Yeah, so I'll bring up the music here.
To remember, we have to just get in our heads the Apolytikion so we can get into the tones.
Ananes. Pali. Are you gonna do the words?
Oh, heck yeah.
Well, we did that.
Alright, let's do it with the words.
I guess we could do the words.
Sure.
Alright. Ananes. Rejoice, thou who art full of grace, O Virgin Theotokos, for from thee hath risen the Son of righteousness, Christ our God, enlightening those in darkness. Rejoice thou also, O righteous elder, as thou receivest in thine arms the Redeemer of our souls, who also granteth unto us the resurrection. Next one. Thou who didst sanctify the Virgin's womb by thy birth, and didst bless Simeon's hands as was meet, by anticipation hast even now saved us, O Christ God. But grant peace in the midst of wars unto thy commonwealth, and strengthen the hierarchs whom thou hast loved, O only friend of man. Cool.
Yep.
How'd it go?
Pretty good. Can we take that last bit there and strengthen?
And strengthen? Sure. And strengthen the hierarchs whom thou hast loved, O only friend of man.
Cool.
Alright, so I figured this is kind of simple.
Yeah.
It's not terribly complicated, but it's got a nice melody, and eventually a lot of the Byzantine Apolytikion, like, those are the ones I remember the words to pretty easily. So and we can do that if you find that helpful for me to leave and
Well, yeah, actually, just kind of
push
to throw something at us
through. And I figure, especially if there's three of them with Patricia, then it's even more collaboration. Then we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah.
So next week she's got to do it herself.
Yeah. This is what we did. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. We'll all leave to the library. It's like.
I know. How come on yourself?
Yeah. So okay. So I think. Where did we leave off? We were at verse number.
I think you got through Stichera.
Yes, Stichera number 3.
Yeah, that's the last thing I stuck written in.
So, do you want to read straight through them, or do you want to just start with number 4?
What's Stichera 4?
Yes, Stichera number 4.
Yeah, let's just pick up where we left off.
All right. So, Stichera number 4 in the Plagal of the Fourth Mode. Let me switch my screens. Okay, before we do that, let's just sing the scale so I can get my levels here. So, Ni pagugari kezoni ni zorgedi pali. Cool. Okay, so Stichera number 4. Mostly it's just, again, rhythm. Rhythm is a harsh mistress in these hymns. In the second line, you see that we have a scale change on before.
Yeah.
So what do we change to there? Anybody?
That is the soft
Well,
chromatic?
and the chromatic.
Yeah, the soft chromatic. And our E song goes up to the. That's because at least in tone 2, soft chromatic, the E song is the. It just stays there. And then before the ages, then we switch back to the diatonic. So that note on before becomes our the in the soft chromatic, and then it just switches right back to diatonic at the in the next line. Besides that, I think that's, let's see, second page. No, I think that's everything. Yeah. So we'll just read through it. And I guess the only other thing to notice is in the third line you have two these there. The first the martyria, and the second martyria, the. And you notice how they have different bottoms to them. They both have two dots, but they have, one has a little side, like horizontal swoopy guy, and the other one has the vertical one. And that's just because one is the the soft chromatic version of the, and one is the diatonic version of the. So. Yeah, right. Let us read through. On the note names. Sorry. The ke the ga the ke the ga the ke ni zo ke the vo ga the ke the ga vo ga the ke ga ga vo ga the ga vo pa vo ga vo pa ni pa ni pa vo ga the vo ga the ga vo pa vo ga the ni vo ga the ke zo ni zo ke the zo ke the ga the, sorry, the ke the ga vo pa vo ga vo pa ni Cool. That happened twice to me when I said, instead of K, I said ga, and then I got all. Yes, I switched up.
I'm just a little on the rhythm
Mm-hmm.
here on the who was begotten.
Where?
Oh, the very beginning.
Okay. So you want to just sing, me to sing through it, or want me to write it on the board? Or?
Who was? Now that's with the go, that should be one. Well,
So, no, because we got the Apli there too. We have the Apli there as well.
Yeah.
So, if it's ni, the word who was.
The word who.
Yeah, because that's a half, and then the
was. Okay.
So yeah, the Gorgon cuts who in half. So you have a half beat there. And then the second note, the apostrophos with the apli beneath it, that one gets a half a beat taken away, but it's 2 beats. So it's only a beat and a half.
Who was. No, that. Wait a minute. Was is 2 beats, anyways.
Yep.
right.
But who,
One.
the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The
second
who
note
is taken is 1/2. Who.
Nope.
Who.
No, you have to stay on that.
Who. Oh yeah. Who. No, that's
Yeah.
the point.
Okay, so we got.
It's 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah. So we got
1
this.
and 2 and 3.
Do. I can see that do, but that's.
Here, let's work it backwards. So how many beats is this one?
That looks like 2 right now.
2. Cool. How many beats is this one?
And that should be 1/2. Oh, that should be 1 beat.
Well, this is.
That because of the one extra, the Gorgo goes to the one before, so that's 1 beat.
So without this.
Without that, that's 1.5.
Two.
No, this is 2 right now.
2 right now.
Wait a minute.
Here's the apostrophos with the dot underneath it, the upbeat.
Oh, okay.
So this is 2.
All right.
And now we add the Gorgon, which takes away a half a beat.
Right.
So that's 2 minus 1.5. 2 minus a half is 1.5, right? And then this one acts on this guy, our Isan.
Right.
So that takes away a half a beat from our Isan, right?
Anyways, good.
So 1/2, 1.5, and 2. So the word 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it's a syncopated rhythm, but 1 and 2. Does that make? Do you agree with?
I no, it's the way it is.
In theory.
Just,
Yeah.
It's just sight reading. It's not doesn't come
Especially when they
quickly.
string a bunch of them together, then it's like, oh.
Well, then that's
You
right.
can't- you
Yeah,
can't
that's
look-
when.
You can't look far enough ahead to get all that.
Yeah, you can't look away, and you can't look far enough ahead. So, the word who was begotten. Okay, so
Right.
God. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2.
Oh, that's right. Because this is. Oh,
Yeah, it acts on the previous.
you're right. Yeah, because they switched it. All right.
Yeah, so this is where
Yeah.
that placement becomes to, like before you didn't have to care.
Yeah.
Now you have to care.
Right.
We'll go again from that again. Who was
So, yeah, the word who was begotten. So does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, but it didn't come initially. Now I can see it.
And this is a very characteristic gotten.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, it's not like they're going to use it all the time, but it's very noticeable whenever you get it, and it's used it a lot. So,
Yeah. Okay.
and was there anything else that was tricky? At least at the bottom of the page, because we don't have a pause after death on the penultimate line of the page. Crucifixion and death. It just keeps going. Affliction and death, and by the I think that was. Anything else? Otherwise, we can read it with the words.
Before the ages, that's a little. Those diagram ones always throw me.
Yeah. So, before the ages. Just that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And
you're putting it up there too.
yeah, and the key with some of these too is you have to re-articulate because you have an es on there. The ga the ke the ke the ga the ke the. So you have an es on that is you have to re-articulate it. So that's where you get the little before the ages.
Okay.
So even when there's no word. But yeah, and those things, despite the fact that we have two of them in a row, they're used all over the place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after a while, you just probably don't even just know.
Yeah, don't even pay
what it
attention to
is,
them. And then I think with the fourth line, incarnate of her who knew not wedlock, knew not wedlock. Lock. Okay. Shall we read it with the words?
Sure.
Right. Let's start from the verse.
All right.
Neagian, let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplication. The Word who was begotten of God the Father before the ages, and who in these latter times was incarnate of her who knew not wedlock, hath of his own. Sorry, that's my fault. Let's start at hath of his own. Hath of his own will endured crucifixion and by the resurrection hath saved man who was slain of old. All right. So, anything that cropped up there, besides my own mistake.
Just that phrase was incarnate of her who knew not wedlock.
From was incarnate?
Yeah.
Was incarnate of her who knew not wedlock.
Okay.
Does that work?
A lot of times I think I'm doing it wrong, but what I'm hearing is you doing something a little bit different.
Okay. Was it on the wed?
Yeah.
Wed.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
Or wed.
No, wrong note.
Wedlock. Yeah. I can't not do it then.
Yeah,
Gotta
okay, that's
do
fine.
something.
As long as I know what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was better that time, I think.
And the same thing like on crucifixion on the next line, the crucifixion and death.
But
So
what with that?
fiction and death. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because there's a dot there actually too.
On the fix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now that we look at it a little more closer, that makes sense.
Right, so move on or do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again one more time. Just,
And a little bit faster.
Okay.
So, Neagian, let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplication. The Word who was begotten of God the Father before the ages, and who in these latter times was incarnate of her who knew not wedlock, hath of his own will endured crucifixion and death, and by the resurrection hath saved man who was slain of old. Cool.
what'd you do? Oh, resurrection. You're hitting the flat toe coming back down, right?
Right.
All right. I
Yeah,
missed that both times.
and
Okay.
by the resurrection.
Right. Okay.
And on and by the I normally flat the resurrection. You sometimes you might hear people go and by the resurrection. So they would keep it natural the entire time. It's just kind of who you're singing with, I guess.
I'm used to hearing it with the flat, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Well, eventually, I mean, when I hear other people do it another way, I'm like, oh, that's that's the other way. But a lot of times I just hear it that way. So maybe that's why I do it that way. Verse number 5. Secure number 5. Let's start at secure number 5, just straight off.
straight up. Oh.
With the no names, but no verse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything of interest here? Let's see. Not really. So let's first let's go to the second line.
Okay.
So, O Christ, the dead, O Christ, which we've seen before, and we just saw that in the last one. The what was it? And
Right. Yeah.
O Christ.
Yeah, sure.
So, same thing. Yes. Okay, so at the end of this gets fun. Whereby thou didst free the race of man, second line. whereby thou dost free the race of man, race of Adam, whereby thou, whereby thou didst free the race of Adam.
Ooh.
So that's another one, and that's where my phantom K sharp comes in. The race of Adam. You don't have to do K sharp, but I like to do it. So that's one of them. Again, it's very characteristic, but it's a little bit more complicated rhythm-wise. If you notice, end of that line, tyranny of Hades. Did we see that in the last one?
Yeah, that was it.
Was that wedlock? I knew not wedlock. Although here we don't have the gorgon, I don't think, right? So, and okay,
All right.
yeah. So just pointing out little similarities, but with the words, or sorry, with the note names, or
Yes,
Yeah.
the names first.
From
Where? From the verse?
Speaker.
Speaker.
Nimu pavugadi gavugadi kedi gavo pavugupanimu gadi gavugadi pavugadi kezo kedi kezo nizo kezo kezo nizo kedi ga di ke ga gavo gadi gavo pavo gavo pani go gadi gadi di kedi gavo gadi kezoni zo kedi di. We'll go over it again in a minute. Zo kedi gavo pa bugadi bugarabu bugabu pani pani ni. Cool. How was that?
Yeah, me too. Upon the world.
Yes, upon the
What
world.
happened there? I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
Upon the world is somewhere around there.
I stood upon. So that's I'll sing it real quick. So, and as God thou hast bestowed upon the world. So it's
Okay.
on the world. So instead of seeing it at the end, where we normally see, let's say, so look at the end of the previous hymn.
Yes, right.
Of old. That was the previous hymn at the end. But here we're just putting it instead of on ni, it's the world. Any questions on that?
No, I know. I see the formula. I just
Yeah.
missed it for some reason. I didn't expect it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of this is just familiarizing yourself with things. So it helps to read a good bit of music. Sadly, we only have a certain amount in English, but if it was in another language, like there'd be hundreds of things to read and tonate. So, any questions or read on the words?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Neagie, verse number 5. If thou shouldest mark iniquities, O Lord, who shall stand? For with thee there is forgiveness. We glorify thy resurrection from the dead, O Christ, whereby thou didst free the race of Adam from the tyranny of Hades. And as God thou hast bestowed upon the world life everlasting and great mercy. All right. Jeff, did you want to go over?
Whereby thou didst free the race of Adam from the tyranny of Hades. Yes.
Okay. Neagie. So when did we start on? Whereby thou didst free the race of Adam.
Well,
Keep on from
Is it flat?
the race of Adam. So I'm doing.
Is there something flat?
yeah, the
Yeah.
plateau.
I'm doing
And he's doing the
Because
sharp.
Zoni zoke sharp zoke Zoni zo flat
So the
kevi.
K sharp and the zo, that's what's throwing.
Yeah. So
Throwing us
you could
off.
do the race of Adam.
Okay.
Zoni zoke zoke. It just sounds so. With that, so
I could see that.
Which-
No, I
with
just
that
didn't know.
K,
Which
with,
can are you sharpening?
of. Kezoke.
K's okay.
Oh, both of
The race of. Yeah, both of them are sharp.
Okay.
It just adds more tension to it because you're on the upper
Yeah.
tetrachord. Yeah, that's what I would do. I
Okay.
think if I was reading with the note names, I wouldn't do it because it's kind of like, I don't know, you're interpreting the music, whereas the note names, you're supposed to be reading it pretty much as at face value.
Although you do the flat zo anyway.
Yeah.
So sharp cat, is that your own thing, or like is that done often?
No, that's done. That's done a good bit. Yeah. If before the end, maybe we'll bring up some of that the Glue, those videos with the guy reading through stuff, and maybe we'll see if he reads through any of these what he does.
With it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's done a lot.
Okay.
I would say. And then the tyranny of Hades is fine, or from the tyranny of.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That makes that's
Yeah.
That's just counting.
Yeah.
Like I don't worry about like what gets flattened or sharp.
Yeah, I remember when I was first learning, it was like 1 and 1 and 2 and 3. I was like, wait a minute, that works, but it doesn't. In the moment, it doesn't seem like it should. Next one, or read it again.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, verse number 6, and secure number 6. So starting at secure number
That's
6.
on the same page.
Uh,
The verse is almost the next to here.
yeah, exactly. That's funny. Secure number 6. What is our first note?
Oh, let's see. That is
Wait, were we adding 3 plus
So it's a
4,
ni.
7 notes?
So
above?
7. So yeah, so that's zo.
So it was starting with ni pa 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 is the first.
No. Up
Ni
7
pa.
notes, you said.
Oh yeah, but pa is the bass note, right?
Nope,
That
ni-
you count
ni
from.
Ni is the bass
Oh,
note.
why is it ni pa pa? Then it should go.
That
from
this
pa.
is Plagal of 4.
Oh, what am I?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm doing one. I'm denial. Sorry, I peek in my 1. I'm still on the.
Yeah, on the
I know. I'm
rejoice.
just. That's what.
We can go back to that.
No.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh, 7 notes.
Sorry.
7 notes. So that's actually an octave.
7
right?
notes above.
Yeah,
That's an
octave,
octave.
yeah.
So
That's what I
That's
was.
high knee.
Yeah, high knee. Yep.
Right.
I'm actually really impressed that you said up 3 and then up 4.
Yeah.
I was that's impressive to me.
Yeah, but it's not impressive when you're doing tone 1.
but I mean like
So I canceled out.
because like now like I don't even think about the numbers here because I just read it and I'm like, oh well, that means
I
I'm
know,
7.
I know.
But when I was looking at it, I just was memorizing symbols when I first started.
Yeah.
And so for someone actually to do the math and then to be like, well, there's the +3 and then the +4, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Anyways, we got to get there.
So yeah,
An
so
octave above.
up an octave, up 7 notes to high knee.
High knee.
So if that's our knee, go. So besides that, before we start up an octave, Son of God on the second line, Son of God, just a repeated thing.
Yeah, as they go, this is pretty straightforward.
If you look at the third line, we've the cross there. We know that, we've seen that
Mm-hmm.
2 times before already, at least in this session. I don't know about the previous sessions, but to the cross. Yeah. So and this this is fun. Yeah. And this arise. So that one though, and this arise. There's some extra notes in there that aren't written. From the and the rest is standard.
All right. Yeah.
We've seen this before. Note names?
Sure.
Okay. Since I wouldn't do note names because it's kind of we've seen this before, but because of the beginning, I'd like to do the note names. I don't think I've ever actually read this one myself, so we never did slow during Vespers, so we normally only practice the ones that we would do, and so you guys are actually ahead of anything that we did in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
You gotta get the octave.
Yep. Okay, so this is our knee. This is all our knee. Knees on knee. Oh yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah. Okay, no, this is fine. Knee, knees on knee, pa knees on thee, gabo, gadi, kezoni, thee. And we saw that before too.
That's right.
Kezoni, gabo, babu, gabo, pani, mula, gadi, gabo, gadi, gabo, gadi, kezoni, zoni, ga vu vu pa ni ni. Cool. All right. Sorry, that was a little fast, I guess. Any questions there?
Nope.
Okay. Verse number 6. For thy name's sake have I patiently waited for thee, O Lord. My soul hath waited patiently for thy word. My soul hath hoped in the Lord. Glory be to thee, O Christ, Savior, only begotten Son of God, who was nailed to the cross and is arise from the tomb on the third day. Cool. How'd that go?
Mm-hmm.
And I love these parts. And is arise.
Yeah.
You only get them certain times,
Uh-huh.
and they're very nice. The only thing, I did something that I probably shouldn't have done. Second line, the only begotten Son of God. So I did Son of God, which is fine. Normally you do that if there's no Gorgon on God. Son of God. You can do it there. Yeah, it's kind of... When I did it, I was kind of... when I saw the Gorgon, I was like, oh no! I didn't really want to do it with the Gorgon there, but Son of God is fine. Move on?
Sure.
Alright. See, now we can start, like, breezing through these.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, once you like sort of dig through the first couple. It's
Yeah,
like,
that
okay, that's
after the first three, I think, let's see, is there anything of interest here?
what's going on here? Omnipotent.
Yes. Well, first,
we're getting into
second line. Let's look at the second line real quick. And you're the, and then we know this cross for us.
Yep.
We just did that.
And then back to Booyah. Yeah.
So this is where you have the sharps actually written.
so
Oh, is that
okay,
what it's already?
that's
Okay.
all.
Yeah, these
Where
are-
we're at two.
These are sharps. So, and we worship thee, O omnipotent. So, O omnipotent. And then Savior. Savior. One and two and one. It's all just ends. All the eighth notes there. Do you want to do omnipotent again, or omnipo? Yeah, the omnipo. So, yeah, nipo. And that's where there's little nuances, because that's pa sharp. The ni vu pa vu ga vu pa vu. So, which if you think about it, so Okay. This is where it's written. And this is one of the times, this is why I do it on K, is because if you look, so if you have ni pa fu, acts a lot, because this is 12, 10, and then taga up here is 8. And then if you look, the ke zo ni is 12, 10, 8. So these look a lot similar.
Right.
So I was sharpening K a good bit, Here,
You're
they
sharpening
sharpen
pa.
Pa. So they're essentially the same thing. They're the same tetrachord, just transposed up. So oftentimes, at least at the bottom, you don't do anything with Pa. It depends. But here they write it in, whereas up at the top, because of the tension, a lot of times people will put,
do it.
Will bring it further in. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of, this is where you start to get similarities, and sometimes you borrow phrases from different sections of the scale because they're kind of the same, similar sections. Okay. So read through straight on the words, or you go to the note names.
Note names.
Okay. Sticker number 7. Note names. Neagye Nidhi Keli Vavugadi Keli Gavu Vugadi Kegali Okay. Anything hearken and save us? Is that okay?
What happened there? Oh,
No,
there's just a bunch of chord ones in a row, yeah.
Yeah. But hearken and save us. And that's again one of those K sharp that and save us. And omnipotent savior, third line. Was that okay since we went over it? Or?
Better.
Yeah. Okay. Let's read through it with the words. Yeah. Verse number 7. Neagye, from the morning watch until night, from the morning watch, let Israel hope in the And if you look, third line of the Stikira, on the omnipotent, the omni. So, and then you have at the end the final line, by the resurrection, oh, no. Same ornamentation. It's just here we have the Gorgon there to kind of make it seem a little faster. No. So, cool. Any questions on that one?
I just think only in the, of course, the voice fluctuation. I'm not doing them as, I guess I'm listening to them from you, but I should be doing them, but maybe that.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with repetition and kind of trying it little by little and seeing.
Because that would throw me off if I did it.
Yeah, and eventually it becomes almost like if you don't do it, it seems weird to not do
flat,
it.
I know.
But that's where, I'll do them, and most of the time I should do them. I hope that I do them the same way, like the same reproducibly, so that like you guys will hopefully do what I do, and will not necessarily get confused, being like, wait, he didn't do that. Like he's doing it differently this time.
I know. No, I can see what you're doing, but it's just you can't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes you gotta also sit down and kind of fit it in there, because when I first, let's say on the third line, the the first time I did that, I was like, if I heard someone do that, it's like, wait a minute, how did they get that? It's, and then you look at like it's all there. I mean, it's not written there, but it's it's not that I'm misreading the music at all. It's just adding things in there. So, and I'm fine with stopping there for the night. I think we went through a good bit. So, any questions?
No.
Cool. Here, let's sing through the meaning of the Triparian, the Apolytikion, and the Kontakion one more time.
Oh, okay.
And we'll do it at speed. Yeah.
Let me dig them out.
So.
You
just let it go.
did this.
I guess.
We had it.
He's reality.
Do it again. The old calendar.
Yeah.
If you want.
Well, we're still singing these Tripwires
We have still
until the leaf
but
take
it's
on the
still-
9th.
It's still not. Yeah,
So.
right. Whole week of it.
Ananes, rejoice thou who art full of grace, O Virgin Theotokos, for from thee hath risen the Son of righteousness, Christ our God, enlightening those in darkness. Rejoice thou also, O righteous elder, as thou receivest in thine arms the Redeemer of our souls, who also granted unto us the resurrection. Thou who didst sanctify the Virgin's womb by thy birth, and didst bless Simeon's hands as was meet, by anticipation hast even now saved us, O Christ God. But grant peace in the midst of wars unto thy commonwealth, and strengthen the hierarchs whom thou hast loved, O only friend of man. Cool. And that's a pretty good tempo. It depends. If you're just doing them in the midst of a weekday service, you might do them a little quicker.
Yeah.
If you're doing a procession, or if it's like the Latia at the end of Vespers, where he's sensing around the loaves and things like that, a little bit more majesty, like, rejoice thou who art full of grace. So, alright. Well, blessed continuation of the feast.